a minute. Good morning, people and peepettes. It's just your madman. I hope everybody's well, and the story the video I'm going to make, if it hadn't been for the fact that it's been mentioned for days on end now, weeks, months even, you'd have said it was the worst April Fool's Day going. April Fool's Day joke going. Like I say, it's your madman. I hope you're all well and good. I hope you're keeping nice and safe and don't fall for too many April Fool's jokes. Today, a big shout out to everybody that's liked and commented or whatever on my other videos. Really helps me, and it's very much appreciated. So today, I'm gonna, as always, just give my little input into a current news story, and it involves him. This thing here. Not him personally, or Doggly, whichever way you'd call it. Sit down, mate. But this issue around dogs and dog-friendly spaces, and are dogs racist, or are people that have dogs racist? It's the story that it's the joke that just keeps giving. So that certain people of a certain ideology, shall we say, are complaining that there's too many dog-friendly spaces, from coffee shops, restaurants, pubs, through to like country parks and the nature side, the countryside in the UK. There's so many places that people take their dogs. Now, I always have my dog on lead, as people will know. I know somebody who walks his dog off lead, and his dog is perfectly well behaved. It's a choice. But, so they're talking about, initially, I think the wording is limiting the number of dogs that a person can have. And to a point, that's fair. You know, I know, me and my ex-partner, we used to have 3 dogs, and we could manage them. That was fine. I know somebody who was on his own and used to have a hell of a lot of dogs, and he struggled. So limiting the number is sensible, really. You know, that's not a problem, in my opinion. But then they're talking about banning dogs, and they started with certain breeds, haven't they? Over the years, they've introduced this dangerous dog, that dangerous dog, this, that, and then there was the issue with Marshall and Millions. I think was the 2 XL bullies that caused the last outrage, and forced XL bullies to be banned by a certain date. And if you already had one, which me and my ex did, he had to be neutered, castrated, whatever, tagged, all this, that and the other. Again, fair point, fair enough, but we had him. And then the next step they're going to do it, if they introduce, my thoughts is this though, if they introduce a limit on dogs, how long is it going to be before they do outrightly go and ban dogs? And not just from dog-friendly spaces. You know, they'll start with, oh, don't let them into restaurants. That's kind of understandable, because you don't always want a slobby dog when you're eating your food. Again, it's the choice of the cafe or restaurant owner, and then there's, even if they do allow them in, there are rules and regulations to which you have to stick to allow your dog to enter the premises. But then they're going to start bringing in, you can't go here, you can't go there, you won't be able to go to the park, you won't be able to walk along the seafront or on the beach or so on and so forth. And then before you know it, this certain group of people with a certain ideology are going to, well, it's obvious the entire nation, the country as a whole, is heading down their route if we're not careful. And there will be an outright ban on dogs. Now, like I say, this is just an opinion piece. I can't think what I was going to say now. If it gets to that point, our country will have gone. Dogs are man's best friends. Dogs, you know, there's pictures of dogs in historical paintings from centuries ago across the UK with, landowners and lords and the gentry and even the Queen and the King. You know, well, the Queen, she had her corgis, didn't she? Well renowned for having her corgis. But seeing as we have a king that seems to be catering more to that ideology in his thought process, along with that twat at number 10. It wouldn't surprise me if a petition was given that they would act upon it. We can't do that. It's bad enough we're fighting on one front for the safety of our children and our grandchildren and our women and girls and so on and so forth. But this is what I said before. What they're not telling you, what they tell you, it's more important what they're not telling you. And that by banning or limiting dogs, they are undermining and undermining the sense of being British, of being a nation of dog lovers. And it has to stop. It has to be told, no, that's just downright stupid, a downright selfish, self-centered requirement that group of people want. We can't allow it. There has to be some sort of way of making sure that it is not even discussed anywhere above the levels it's being discussed at the minute, which is mainly YouTube videos and a couple of people on stage. It's not to be discussed in the House of Parliament or government. Again, just my personal opinion. Anyway, hope you all have a wonderful Wednesday. I hope you stay safe. Look after your friends. Look after your friends, your neighbours, your relatives, your elders. Look after the people around your table and the people that you speak to near and far. Look after yourself. Remember, you can't pour from an empty cup, so you have to keep topping your own self-care up. And look after your doggos, if you've got one. I'm proudly taking out. Stay safe, stay loud, stay proud. Peace.